Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Monday. It is. At one point through this live stream, I will run downstairs and put a loaf of bread in the oven. Okay, so just bear with me. Anywho, I trust that you all had a great weekend and that you applied the principles. Oh, yes. It's not about style. It's not about your style. It's about you. It is about you. You see, sometimes we get caught up in the style of something. Sometimes we get caught up in the, you know? But it's not about the style. It is about you. You're the one who has to do the thing. Yes. You're the one who has to do the thing. It has nothing to do with the style. If we could get past that for a moment. Style has to do with technique too, right? Remember, the technique is an inanimate object, really. It is you who's got to do it. So it doesn't matter which one you select. Somebody still has to do it. The technique's not going to do itself. The style is not going to do itself. So remember that it is about you. At every turn, it is about you. How are you disciplining yourself? Let's look that up. Because sometimes we, there, let's look it up. Let's look it up. Discipline. The practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior, with punishment or other undesired consequences for those failing to comply. See, this is how we think discipline is. But in actuality, that is not the case. To disciple someone is to teach them. Oh, fan base is apping today. To disciple someone is to teach them. Right? To teach. So, in other words, when you are learning something, right? They ask you in school, so what's your discipline? What did you learn? So when you are practicing the principles, you're teaching yourself a new way to be. But because when we hear that word discipline, listen to the word, because we say that word and it has that connotation that there's a punishment involved if you do not comply, we've somehow been tainted by it. So it is not about your style. It is how you discipline, how you teach yourself. It has nothing to do with punishment or reward. It has everything to do with what did you learn? And how will you know that you've learned it if you don't apply it? Well, how does one apply the principles? Mentalism, the all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. How do you apply that? Well, you know that you are. You know that you exist. Do you not? Well, you know. So if you know, you know. So you know that you are. So every time when you get up and you go out into the world, you say, I'm here. What am I doing? I'm driving. I am walking. I am talking. I am reading. See? That's mentalism. But then correspondence would say, as within, so without. So what are you doing on the inside? You see how you practice? It starts with observation. And the very first thing to observe is one's self. You. Sometimes we get caught up in the, oh, well, I tried that and it doesn't quite work for me. This is how we talk to us, but that doesn't work. When in actuality, it is you. And what are you doing? How are you moving? Where are you moving from towards? What's your habit? What's it causing you to do? What effects are you experiencing? And what ideas are you generating because of it? Those are the 7 principles right there: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. So you practice, I practice, we practice by being aware, by knowing that you are and knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it. Why is that important? Because when you know that you are and you know what you're doing, you can examine that and decide whether you like it or not. Is this helpful to me? Is this beneficial? Is this going to be a hindrance? So you see, it's not about style. Why did I ask that question? Well, your girl in Kung Fu. Somebody asked Ip Man, well, what's your style? And he goes, it's not about style. It's not about style. And a lot of people, very interesting, they say it's about the feminine that is on the rise. If you look at it, remember what feminine is. Feminine is the embodiment of an idea. Because masculine is the point of origin. It says, oh, I should try this. That's the idea. But the feminine aspect is the embodiment of it. What are we embodying more and more as we go through this life? The awareness of ourselves is what we are embodying, which is the rise of the feminine. Not the female, but the feminine, which is the embodiment of knowing what we are and doing it. And so a lot of people made fun of him at first. Because one guy said, oh, I'll beat you in 8 moves or 9 moves. And if you know anything about Wing Chun, it typically has 3. But then you'd have to understand why. Because it was invented by a woman. Why is that? See, remember, it's not about the style, it's about you. Why did she do it? Because you can't overpower the man because he's bigger than you. So you now have to think about how you're going to act in the situation. It always comes down to the thought, the awareness of oneself. So you must be faster, but not just faster. You've got to hit where it counts. Which acupressure points? Which acupressure points can I use for the greatest gain? And how fast can I hit you? You see, it's not about the style, it's about the thought. It is about you and what you do. So what is it in your life that you want to get up and do this morning? Ooh, 4 minutes, and then I got to run downstairs. And I'll see if I can carry you all in my arms and not turn on a camera at the same time, because you'll get a surprise. But I digress. Somebody's got to put that bread in the oven. But what is it that you want to experience in your life? Who do you want to become? Who do you want to become? Well, first, you must know what you presently are. And when you know what you presently are, then you can decide who you want to become instead. There's no style. I want to say it style and fashion, but I can't do it like you, Miss McQueen. But you know what I'm saying? It's about you. Who do you want to become? We don't hope to become it. Also, what I was learning, what I am presently learning, because you know me, they ask and they say, because they've been doing these studies on the brain for people who practice martial arts. And your brain will wire itself for the martial art that you study and practice. I wonder what we call that. Would that possibly be the principle of correspondence? As within, so without. And also the reason why she chose just those very few moves, because the less you have to remember, the better. Because when you are in a situation, you want to be fast and efficient. So she rehearsed those moves and wired her brain. How did you wire her brain? By doing the same thing the same way every time. What's that? The principle of rhythm. Period. It's not about the style. It is how you discipline yourself, how you train yourself. The body is the evidence of your training. Well, it's the embodiment. You've got to see it. And another funny thing as I was reading, it says this is why you're encouraged to watch your quote unquote master as they train. You remember mirror neurons, right? No, let me refresh your memory. Mirror neurons do exactly what they say. What do you do in a mirror? What do you use a mirror for? You look at yourself as you do something. So mirror neurons, when you observe, you learn, and your brain begins to fire in such a fashion. So no, it's not about the style that you do. It is about the fact that you do it, that you train, that you practice. This is what it is. But you see, when we watch, we judge. Now, when we watch, we judge. We don't just watch for the sake of watching. But if you just watch for the sake of watching, this is why I told you mirror neurons are beautiful in that you could watch someone smile. You could be grumpy and you watch them smile just for the sake of watching them. And your body will respond as if you were the one smiling. But if you judge it, you block the response because now you have a different cause, which will bring about a different effect. So you see, we can't stop and get caught up in the style of something. Look at how they discipline themselves, because that is where the power is. We got to go downstairs, y'all. Ugh, and ladies on top of the stairs. Come on, let's go. And all the while, as we go downstairs, we'll talk about it some more. Oh, Lord. Lady. Let me get past lady. Where are you? There you are, sweetness. Okay, you gotta move. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Good girl. Okay. So you see, not about the style, but how you discipline yourself. And I keep telling you that it is everyday life things. It is everyday life. So for people who, that's the last stare, right? Yes, it is. All right. So as we practice whatever it is you're going to practice, you wire your brain. That is what discipline is, the teaching of the self, so that you can apply what you've learned. This is what it comes down to. Okay, breathe. Let me know if that makes a little bit of sense to you, because we get so caught up in the, yeah, but I gotta look this way, or we call it putting on ears in Barbados. You're putting on ears. You want to look a certain way, but you can't get caught up in the look of a thing. Well, think about it. As within, so without. What are you going to look like? What you got going on inside? So you can't. If you do me just that one favor, to remember, it does not matter what you choose to practice. It doesn't matter what style of martial art you want to do. It doesn't matter what style of cooking you want to do. It is that you do it. Big Mike, I see your PTR. Hey, I see your PTR. You see, it's about doing it. And the way that you rehearse it is the way that you will do it. That means the way you learn to drive is the way you're going to drive. The way you learn to tie your shoes is the way you tie your shoes. So if you practice complaining at every moment of the day, let that one hang in the air there for a minute. Where's my lamb? I've got to cut it. I've got to score the bread. Yep, y'all, we're gonna bake it before we leave. Ah. That's exactly what we're going to do, my darling. Bake it before we go. Because it also helps you when you practice, yeah? It helps you when you practice to remember. You're doing so much more when you practice. But for some reason, we take practice for granted. Why do we do that? Because you see, where am I going with that one? Because everybody wants to manifest something, but they don't practice the mentality. They think that it's a style. I'll do it this way with this style of affirmations. I'll do it Neville Goddard style. I'll do it Dr. Joseph Murphy style. I'll do it Esther Hicks style. It's not about the style, it's about you doing the work. But what is the work? Getting the mental attitude of that which you want to experience. So the practice looks like every time you catch yourself along a train of thought, every time you catch yourself along a mood, you catch it. Is this mood taking me towards who I want to become, or is this mood keeping me where I presently am? That's the question to ask oneself. Ooh, bear with me. I gotta take the pot out of the oven and put the bread in it. So it's gonna be hot for a moment. But let me know if that makes sense, because let me know if it makes sense, because it is most important. Don't touch the hot lid, Angela. Okay, one down. And you go. Oh, Lord have mercy. 25 minutes. So, you see, if you can remember that it has nothing to do with your style, but it has everything to do with how you discipline yourself. And remember what discipline means, because it comes from the word disciple. So how do you make a disciple of someone? Well, for every kung fu movie that you watch, they say, oh, let me be your disciple. Teach me. So that's what a disciple is. Someone that you teach. Where's punishment in there? Nowhere. For somewhere along the line, we have bastardized the word disciple. A disciple is one who learns. Right? A disciple is someone who learns. Neville was Abdullah's disciple. Mm-hmm. Did he beat Neville? Listen, the worst thing he did to Neville Goddard was to say, "You are in Barbados," and he shut the door in his face. So Neville had to practice. What did he practice? We practice getting our mental attitude correct, which would be his sentence, his statement. Experience in imagination what you would be doing in reality if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. Experience in imagination. So what is there to experience in imagination? Well, that depends on your strongest sense. Some see, some hear, some are very tactile, and then some smell. Like this woman that he told you about who loved roses and wanted roses, and she just sat there and she closed her eyes and smelt roses, like literally triggered her body to smell roses. And then what happened? She was given roses because she was staying at the hotel, and the queen had left. And the guy was like, oh, we have all these roses. Do you want some? She was like, why, yes. She experienced in imagination the smell of roses, because that's what she would be doing in reality. She'd be smelling the roses. Her room would be saturated by it. The smell of roses. So what change do you want to experience in your life? You have to experience that change in imagination. And the way to do it is you get in the mood of it. Now, when you get roses or you get around roses, that's the response you get. Because roses, they're just magnificent. They just are. So you get into that state of mind, that mental attitude, that mood of roses. Because they mean something. They didn't tell us what the roses meant to her, but just that she loved them. So what would a job feel like? What would your ideal career feel like? What would your ideal relationship feel like? That is what you experience in imagination. That feeling, that knowing that, oh, I'd be doing this. Because you know what you would be doing. And you just, oh, I'd be doing that. And because I'd be doing that, I know I'd feel this way. You don't hope to do it. You experience doing it. Remember, mirror neurons are your friends. Then this is where we get the word vicarious from. You know, they say, oh, I'm living vicariously through you. I'm just watching you do it. And it feels like I'm experiencing it myself. Mirror neurons, my friends. That's what it means. So, what is it that you want to experience? Look for it. It's there. If you cannot conjure that up in your own mind's eye, that's all right. Somebody already has. So you look for it and you say, yes. You know how you flip through magazines? Well, back in the day, we used to flip through magazines. We used to flip through magazines and talk about, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. Well, you do the same thing. You flip through different experiences to see which one you want to experience. And it'll be there. It'll be on the TV. It'll be on your computer. It'll be on your phone. It'll be there. And when you see it, don't judge it. You know how we get when we see it? Oh, please, that's not even real. That's what we say. Ugh, why you always got a fake looking so happy? Ain't nobody asked you if they faking or not. The question is that what you want? Well, then, allow yourself to become saturated by it when you look at it. Because remember what happens with mirror neurons. When you watch or hear, because mirror neurons are just reflectors, when you observe what you want and you just accept it for what it is, not how you're going to get it, not it's impossible, not none of that. Just watch it for what it is. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. You just watch it. And the more you participate in watching it, your brain begins to wire itself to do that. That's what happens. Right? So you practice. Like when I was in TCM school, because I just read your comment there, Ray. When I was in TCM school, two professors, three were not Chinese. Okay. So when I listened to my professors, I just heard the way they spoke. Right? Like when they would explain things, I just listened to the way they spoke. And that's all I would do, just listen to it. And I know some of my class would say, but I didn't understand that. Like, I don't understand how they say it in English because I don't understand their English and how they say it. And I'm like, that's not the point. Just listen. And so even when I go to the dispensary to this day and I ask for herbs or I say things. The lady who always serves me, and I've been going to her since 2013, and I still don't know her name. How bad is that? She doesn't know my name either, but how bad is that? We have a great rapport, and she always says to me, she goes, "You speak it so well." And it is only because of listening without judgment. Truly. Because I hear them in the back of my head when I go to ask for something. Inchasan, because this is cold and flu season, so you want a good bottle of Inchasan. It's only because I hear them in the back of my head and I repeat it the way I hear it. Your brain wires itself for the change you want it to do. There's nowhere in those 7 principles that says you have to struggle or that you'll fail. Every single principle has set you up for success. So you get to decide, what is it that you want to become? That's your work. Your work is to see it. What is it that I want to become? I don't want to become a dollar bill. That's not what I want to become. So it's not money. I want freedom. 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 I want the freedom. My name is Shatta Wallet. Freedom. That's another song too. But I digress. So when you start to see who and what it is that you want to become, the characteristics that you want to become and have and model, they have a mental attitude. They have a mental attitude. What is that mental attitude? Then that is what you practice. But instead, what do? Oh, I got to get this part right before that'll happen. I got to do this before that'll happen. And you got to get the mood before anything happens. So it's not about the style. It is about who is doing it. Who is doing it? Who's doing it? This is the point today. What are you doing? Are you polarizing yourself in the direction of your change? Meaning you accept it because it's inevitable. Just like if you plant it, it's going to grow. It's inevitable that it grows. So you don't have to hope for it. Select the seed you want to plant. Now, why and how would you select the seed? That depends on what you want to eat. Ow. You want strawberries? You want raspberries? You want blueberries? Well, you got to plant those so you can eat them. Gardening is a discipline. It is something you train yourself to do. And how do you train yourself to do it? You learn the nature of the thing. What's the nature of being in a beautiful relationship? What is the nature of that? Then that is what you mentally rehearse. And you can rehearse it, like Neville says, a state akin to sleep. You just sit there and you know how sometimes you just gaze out the window? I can't stand the rain. I can't smile window. You know how sometimes you're just gazing out the window and your mind just goes off somewhere? Don't let it just go off somewhere. Choose where you want it to go. Choose where you want it to go. So you put yourself in the mood. The mental attitude. It is most intriguing. If we would but test it. like the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible. Remember her? She had one focus. She said, if I can touch the hem of his garment, I know I'll be healed. If I could but touch, if I could but touch the hem of his garment, if I could but touch some part of his clothes, I know I am healed from all my diseases. If I could but touch him, I know I am healed. We used to sing that song in church when I was growing up. You know what that's telling you? It's saying to you that you've polarized yourself in a direction. It says, if I do this, I know this will happen. She made a choice. She said, I'm going to do this. Not because she was hoping for the best. No, she said, I want to be healed because I'm tired. All these doctors tell me the same thing. Everybody take all of my money. She says, there is a better way. There is a way. You know that one, don't you? Yeah, most deaf up in here today, right? She knew there was a way. She knew she no longer wanted to be who she was. She wanted to be healed. And so she polarized herself towards healing. Now, how did she do that? Because Jesus symbolized healing. He was a symbol of healing. So she looked towards healing. She polarized herself towards healing. And as she polarized herself towards healing, she acted. Well, how did she act? Well, tell me where the hem of a garment is. Not at your collar, and because that'd be around your neck. Hello. The hem. A very small part was at his feet. So, how did she get to touch the hem? She crawled towards. She never lost sight of what healing is. She did not lose sight of that. Maybe she'd have lost sight. She couldn't have touched the hem of his garment because she would have misplaced the garment because you wouldn't know which one it is anymore. So she had to stay focused on the outcome to keep going towards it. Can you imagine being in a crowded place on all fours talking about, oh my God, I'm never going to get there. Look at all these people. No, she said, just a little further, honey. Come on, let's go. Look, it's right there. It's right there. Reach for that. It's right there. And what you're reaching for is the mental attitude of the change you want to accomplish. That is what you are reaching for. The mental attitude. So today, my beautiful friends, what are you reaching for? A style? Oh, I'm going to do it Neville's way. Oh, I'm going to do it Joseph Murphy way. Oh, I'm going to do it Esther way. I'm going to do it Brian Scott's way. How about you just do it? Listen, I'm not talking to you. You're just along for the ride. You're just along for the ride. Remember, it is in the doing. And if you cannot do it, watch it being done without judgment. Just watch it. You know, because it's very interesting. They tell you that we don't see people. We see how we perceive someone. And that's how we see them. We don't actually see them because they're there. We see our perception of them, and then we act according to the perception. You see, I told you judgment blinds the eye and deafens the ear. And this is why we don't take full advantage of our mirror neurons. Every single thing is here for us to succeed. Because clearly we've been successfully doing it this whole time, just unaware. See what I'm saying? So today, whatever that thing is you want to become, whoever that person is you want to become, remember, it's not about the getting of something, it's about the becoming. Because when you become it, then you get what goes along with what you have become. Can I say that again? How did I say it? Now, it just came out of my mouth. It's not about things and getting things and wanting things. Because when you become it, you get all the things that go along with what you have become. Period. Right? Mm. You know we have to say hello to everybody this morning, yes? Let's do that. Because I don't want to beat you. I see you, Michael dearest. My big Mike. I see you. I also see the better man is in the house. Ow. Joachim is in the house. Remember to the girls always, Joachim. Cyber is in the house. Cyber put bread in the chat. I love it. Oh my goodness. K-Frame is in the house. Melly Mel is in the house. Hey, girl. Cyber, I love you. I'll tell you what Cyber said. Cyber says, ironically, I'm sitting here thinking your style is wonderful. What a fantastic teacher you are, and your joyous attitude rubs off on all of us. Aw, there's an explanation for that. I'll I'll allude to it because I want to share it with you on its own morning inspiration. Twitter is as Twitter is for the replay gang. Who's on fan base with us this morning? Miss McQueen. Hey, girl. Oh, Ursula, darling. Oh, my dearest, you're here. Ray Ray is in the house. Oracle Treehouse. I was thinking of you. And Big Mike is in the house. Omnipresent, I see. I see you. KZ, my sweet, is in the house. Aaron, listen, let me tell you a little something. Sometimes when you get a little bit overwhelmed, Oracle Treehouse, remember, is it Yamamoto? With the ice and speaking to it, and rice and speaking to it, eh? Well, if ever you get overwhelmed and you think that what you do is not making a difference, not pointing any fingers, because I know I'm talking about me here, because sometimes I do feel that way. Remember this experiment. A woman, because I follow these egg and chicken groups, she took a farm egg, a farm raised egg, just a traditional farm. And she looked at it, the egg whites under the microscope, and they were, wow. The design was just beautiful, right? And then she compared it to factory farmed eggs. And the factory farm eggs were distorted in their view under the microscope. So she had this idea. She said, I wonder if I put this one farm egg in the midst of these commercially farmed eggs, what would happen? So she put that farm raised egg, a traditional farm raised egg, in the middle of factory farmed eggs. And can you guess what happened? When she examined the commercially farmed eggs, they had all changed to match the traditional farmed egg. Do you know why that happened? Because the traditional farmed egg is the blueprint, which means what we would want to call good is the blueprint. The principles is the blueprint. So everything is going to follow that. Everything that appears to be chaos, when it comes into contact with the blueprint, it will modify itself. This is why you don't need all 8 billion people to change the world. Nah, you just need a handful. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Ow. You know who she is. I forget her name, but that's her phrase. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You just need a sprinkling of the blueprint, and everything will change to modify itself in accordance with the blueprint, because that's the blueprint. So if ever you feel like what you are doing doesn't make a difference, remember you are the blueprint, and everything around you will change. Everything around you will change. You will influence people. I put that in there at 5:20. Oh, let's take the cover off. Hold on, y'alls. You got to take the cover off. Yeah. Yeah, let's take the cover off and see what this baby looking like. It's hot, hot, hot. Come along, darling. Let me see you, all of you. Glory. There you are. Now. There you go, sugar. Yes. Turn it down now to 350. And there you go. For the next 20 minutes. Whew. Whew. Look at that. Got to keep an eye on that bread. You don't want to burn it. But anywho, that's what happens. You see, because the blueprint, everything rises to match that. Nothing can be outside of that blueprint. So any kind of quote unquote discord becomes harmonious in the presence of harmony. So, just so you know, just so you know. But I trust that today you will remember that it is not about your style or the style you choose to practice, but it is that you practice. And what are you going to practice? What are you going to practice? You are going to practice your mental attitude, because it is the mental attitude that brings about the desired lifestyle. We've seen those cartoons where the guy is walking with an umbrella and it's only raining on him. It's not raining on anybody else, but it's just raining on him. Right. That's his mental attitude. That's his mental attitude. What is your predominant, or should I say habitual mental attitude? Which one is it? Don't you be growling at me, stomach. It's not that time yet. I know you want the bread, but you just got to wait. Hello? What is your habitual mental attitude? Some would say, well, I'm an optimist. Some would say, I'm a pessimist. Some would say, I'm an opportunist. See, all those are styles. Which one are you practicing on a daily basis? What are you practicing on a daily basis? Oh, that's not possible. No, that's never going to happen. Look at the state of the world. Is that your mental attitude? Well, then you cannot be surprised when you encounter experiences that line up. You see, we want to think that we get out of alignment, but you are never out of alignment. Good morning, Pookie. He's so sweet. What is it? What is that mental attitude that you habitually practice? Hmm? Then you cannot be surprised because you are always in alignment with the mental attitude that you practice. So you can't say, oh my God, I never get what I want. No, you're not getting what you want. You're recreating who you are every time. So you are always in alignment with the mental attitude at every single turn, at every single turn. I do believe I got to take that bread out at 6:10, because then I got to bake the cinnamon rolls, right? Well, not rolls, they're focaccia style, because that's what Noah wanted. I said, okay. So I'm sitting here and I'm smelling the cinnamon. I should have enough time to make icing, because that's when he comes downstairs, he'll have a nice surprise. So as you go through your day today, what is your present mental attitude? How many times are you in that attitude? And how long are you sustaining that attitude for throughout the day? Well, Joachim, the vision has its appointed hour. It will ripen. It will flower. If it be long, wait. It will not be late. Yes, time. You remember, Daddy? Rush the brush, you waste the paint. Eh? And how to be rush the brush? By being desperate. Hello? Because then you end up now acting from a place of desperation. You end up being in alignment with desperation, thus having to reap the benefits of desperation. All you got to do is take your time. Like, I made this dough. I got off to a late start yesterday, and sourdough takes hours. But I had things to do. So I didn't stand here over it, tapping my wrist, talking about, has it been 12 hours yet? Has it been 14 hours yet? Nope, not at all. There's nothing more that I can do after I've put it to bulk rise. Nothing I can do. Because if I turn up the heat in the kitchen, right, it will rise too fast and it'll be ruined. So you just have to let it do its thing. So when you and I are deciding what we want to become, and you've made that choice, you just keep rehearsing the mental attitude. And don't worry about, oh my God, and how long is that going to take? Yeah. The moment you stop and ask that question, you slow yourself down. Because now you've polarized yourself in a different direction. Your only concern is my mental attitude right? Is this taking me towards or away from who I want to become? That's your concern. How many times in a day can I rehearse this mental attitude? How many times in a day can I rehearse it? How long can I hold it for? That's your concern. That's your job. Because as you know, what you rehearse, you'll do. That is right. The seed grows slowly. Yes. Well, if you think about why it grows slowly, it's remember bamboo. Bamboo takes about 3 to 4 years before it even breaks the surface. It's not dead, it's burrowing down. Why? Man, because once it anchors itself, you can't get rid of bamboo. Because it has anchored itself. So what we see at the surface is just that tiny little green shoot. But you have to remember, it has anchored itself into the ground so securely. That is what your training does. That is what your practice does. It anchors you. Why? So that when you're living, you know what you're anchored to. That's why. Anyway, don't let me holler. But it smells nice though. Ooh, it smells nice. And I baked it soon enough so that I can let it cool relatively. And I'm gonna have me some fresh bread for breakfast at work. Ow. I am so excited about that. I am so excited. So take your time and practice because you are anchoring yourself. And as you anchor yourself, my beautiful friends, well, you know how you'll behave, don't you? Of course you do. And I will see y'alls on the morrow. Right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fanbase. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow. It is already posted though, because every time I get the idea, I create the live stream for it. Because then I just know what I'm gonna talk about. I'm ready. I'm ready. Felt like SpongeBob there for a minute. But I digress. Go forth today, my beautiful friends, and know that you are only successful. Huh? How you mean? Okay, if you don't test it out, how will you know? Well, every cause has its effect and every effect has its cause. So you are always successful. You are so welcome, my sweet Melly Mel. You are so welcome. Yes, you're welcome. You know what? Let me stop. Let me stop. Anyways, you guys are awesome. Thank you for spending your early morning with me and Lil Bit and Lady and this bread. I'm excited about this bread. I scored it nicely. You know, how you cut it all fancy like. How come I never show pictures? Because I never am. That's not my frame of mind. Like I don't take pictures of it. On occasion, if my mother says, "Can you send me a picture?" I'm like, "Yes, mother." She sent me a picture of some bread she made the other day. Ooh, I was like, "Girl," and her roasted potatoes. Oh, my mother, she's something else. Anywho, you know I love you, and I will see you in the morning. 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Countdown initiated. Burnt. Hey girl. I just turned over here. And there you were. It is good to see you. Slide into my DMs. We gotta reconnect. Anywho, I'll see y'all's on the morrow. Oh, it's been an hour. Oh, my Lord. YouTube just flipped over and said 1 hour. Well, I thank you for your incredible patience and being here for this hour, though. Truly. It doesn't feel like an hour, does it? At least to me, it didn't. Anyway, you know I love you. And I shall see you on the morrow. Oh, yes, I shall. You know I love you. Peace.